Had some big news that dropped last night that I want to share with you guys. Mehdi Hasan has announced that he is resigning from MSNBC completely. So let me play this video for you and I'll walk you through what happened.
It's been an absolute blast doing this live show on MSNBC for the past 3 years with an amazing team of producers behind me and with all of you watching at home. It's been a privilege. It's been a pleasure. But as we begin 2024, with an election coming, a war still ongoing, and too many Trump trials, honestly, to even keep track of, and with this show going away, I've decided that it's time for me to look for a new challenge. Tonight is not just my final episode of The Mehdi Hasan Show. It's my last day with MSNBC. Yes, I've decided to leave. To be clear, I am so proud, so proud of what we've achieved on this show, on this network. And I can't thank you all enough for tuning in and for your support and for your feedback. But as I say, new year, new plans. You can continue to follow me online at Mehdi Hasan on Instagram, on Threads, and of course Twitter or X.
So the reason why this is a surprise is because we all knew MSNBC came out a few weeks back, maybe a month or so back, and they said the Mehdi Hasan show is effectively going to be canceled. The Mehdi Hasan show is over. Now, it was a streaming show on Peacock, their like streaming service. But they said he's still going to be a contributor, and he's still going to be like a guest fill-in host, and he's still going to do some segments where he's on the panels and he's just contributing and he's a guest on the shows, etc. So that's where we thought it was at. Right now, why did they decide to end his show? Now, they claim, oh, it's the ratings. Guys, I got news for you. Peacock across the board is a joke of a streaming service. Nobody cares. Nobody watches any of it. I'm sure relative to others who are on the service, he probably had some of the best numbers. Right? He was never given a proper chance, like a primetime slot or something like that. Now, that would have been a real chance, and that I think he would have crushed everybody. I think he would have crushed Chris Hayes for sure in the ratings because he's a talented guy. He's one of the best interviewers in the business. I mean, he really grills people. He doesn't let them get away with bullshit, and relative to other MSNBC hosts, he's pretty solidly leftist. He holds powerful people to account. That's what he does. But why did they get rid of his show? Well, we all know. Because you had October 7th happened with the Hamas attack on Israelis. They killed 55% innocent civilians. No, it was 55% military, 45% innocent civilians, I believe. And you have three Muslim hosts on MSNBC: Ali Velshi, Ayman Mohieldin, and Mehdi Hasan. And wow, what a surprise. They made some comments somewhat critical of the Israeli occupation after October 7th, and then they were taken off the air for a little bit. Weird. Now, MSNBC, well, no, we didn't take them off for that reason. I don't know what you're talking about. They're going to be back. And then eventually, to be fair, they were back. They did come back. But you have Mehdi Hasan was the one who they said, sorry, your show is over. It's done. So my theory on what happened is Mehdi Hasan was the pound of flesh. Because you had the head of the ADL coming on MSNBC and chastising and berating the Muslim hosts and saying, oh, what are you, the Hamas stenographers? And oh, this is unacceptable. And so my guess is the executive said, look, we can't fire all three of our brown Muslim hosts at the same time in the midst of what's happening to Palestinians. And it became clear what was happening to Palestinians very soon after October 7th when Israel decided we're just going to slaughter 12,000 children and carpet bomb them in Gaza. And so what they did is, They just sort of shifted them around a little bit, right? And my guess is it was like, we'll put one head on a platter. Which one do you want? They picked Mehdi Hasan, so Mehdi's gone. So now I was under the impression he's still going to be a contributor. But it's Mehdi saying, I have decided I'm going to step down. Now, did he really decide that? I don't know. It could have been, we're going to fire you, but you're going to save face by coming out here and saying, oh no, I decided and all that. It is absolutely possible he did decide, I feel like I'm in a limited role, a reduced role. I don't want that. It's a slap in the face. I'm going to go do something independent, which I don't know. Does he have a non-compete clause? I have no idea. We'll have to see if he does something after this. I'm sure he will. Hopefully he does soon. But it was clear he was the pound of flesh, and he was fired. Why? Keep it real. Because he is correctly very critical of Israel. He is for Palestinian human rights. He's had tough interviews with Israeli government officials. He does not let them off the hook. When Israel's committing war crimes, he says Israel's committing war crimes. And so that absolutely had to do with why he got a reduced role. And it's either he felt like, I don't want a reduced role, I'm out, I'm going to go do something else and save face. Or they said, we'll let you save face and you say you're stepping down. But look, this is a huge loss. Let's keep it real, because Mehdi, he should have been given a proper shot in a primetime slot. That's point number one. Point number two is you're coming into an election year when you're going to want your best talent, your most sharp, thoughtful, intelligent people to grill others in positions of power, to tell the truth. And they're taking one of the few truth tellers they have, and now he's gone. So, look, the fact of the matter is they made the conditions on the ground such that Mehdi Hasan was kind of forced out, right? If you're telling me I'm going to demote you, I'm going to give you a reduced role, they're probably not even going to bring him on to talk about that particular topic of Israel. It's a slap in the face. And so they lay the groundwork to effectively fire him, and he resigns. And then here we are. So look, what's the takeaway here? You cannot color outside the lines in corporate media. This is something we've learned a million times. From Cenk Uygur being on MSNBC and being too critical and aggressive against Democratic politicians, he wasn't being a rah-rah team player, to Crystal Ball, very similar thing, doing a phenomenal job on MSNBC, doing a monologue where it's like, please, Hillary, for the love of God, don't run. You're not allowed to color outside the lines. You got a rah-rah team player. And all the voices that do color outside the lines and tell the truth a little too much, there's consequences for that. And so now he's gone. But look, I'd like to see Mehdi unchained, right? I want to see Mehdi in an independent media setting. I want to see him with, no guardrails whatsoever, because he has the potential to be phenomenal, and he has the potential to get a lot of views and a lot of eyeballs and a lot of ears to something that he does where he's totally free. And look, I wish him all the luck in the world. I just wish that we lived in a timeline where the media gave people on the left a real shot. If he had a primetime slot, I think his numbers would have been fantastic. His interviews always went viral when he was really aggressive with the people he was interviewing. And again, they buried his thing over on Peacock, but it would somehow find its way to Twitter and it would go viral over there. He had tremendous potential. They had to let him go because he told the truth just a little bit too much about Israel. Now, by the way, Ali Velshi, he does a great job. Ahmed Mohyeldin, he does a great job too on the issue of Israel. But if I'm keeping it real with you, I think Mehdi is the best on that. The most aggressive, the best, puts up with no bullshit, and so that's why he had to go. Remember, guys, we're having this conversation just a couple days after we learned something devastating about corporate media. CNN was running all of their Israel stories past an IDF censor. You think MSNBC doesn't have a similar arrangement? You think MSNBC isn't also playing by those rules? Well, if that is what's in place, obviously you can see that there were a lot of powerful people who would say, can't have Mehdi on there. Can't have Mehdi. He's not going to comply with IDF censors. He's going to call out the fact that this is journalistic malpractice to run it through. Imagine if Hamas had to clear any segment on Israel and Gaza. That'd be absurd. But the IDF doing it is literally no different, but they're okay with that in corporate media. So we lost a truth teller who would have been crucial for this upcoming election. I hope he does something independent. But yeah, he has resigned. He has stepped down. And I hope he goes on to do really great things. And look, I wish we should show everybody the power of independent media, that now if he goes on his own, perhaps maybe he'll get even more views. Perhaps maybe he'll be even more popular, and that would be the best storybook ending for an otherwise horrendous situation where he's effectively being censored for being correctly critical of the Israeli government. All right, guys, that's the show. I love you all very much. Everybody, do me a favor. Click like, click subscribe, all that fun stuff. Click that bell icon so you get a notification every single time a video drops. Remember, you can always support the show on Patreon. You could always tip with the thanks button on YouTube. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser. Very, very proud of that fact. You guys make it possible to do the show. We've built it from the ground up. We have a great community over here. So I love all y'all very much. Thank you for all the support, and I will be back talking to you tomorrow. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.